Hey guys, I've had some questions about the linear equations unit test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down here and take it for you. This is already a test we've already supposed to have done. So if you haven't done it, it's late. You're always going to lose some credit for that. But if you have taken it and you see this and you decide you want to give it one more try, obviously, I never close those things, so you're able to do that. Um, but this is just that opportunity for you to see how to do some of these questions in case you missed them and didn't understand what you did wrong. All right, first question. A young sumo wrestler decided to go on a special high protein diet to gain weight rapidly. When he started his diet, he weighed 79.5 kilograms. He gained weight at a rate of 5.5 kilograms per month. Let Y represent the sumo wrestler's weight and after X months. Which of the following? Okay, this is what he started at. This is his started before his special diet. It's the y-intercept. So my graph has to have a y-intercept of about, of a positive number. That one does, that one does not, that one does, that one does not. Okay, he's gaining weight. His weight should go up. He gained weight. That's the one, not this one. This one he's losing weight. It's got to be A. All right. Complete the missing value. They told me X is negative 5. So that's 15. That's negative 25. So if you subtract that off, you're going to get 5y equals, and again, that's negative 25. That's positive 15. So it's going to be negative 40. And then you're going to take negative 40 divided by 8. And I think it's 5. But I'm going to double check by plugging them in. So that's 15 and 35. 15 plus 35 gives me 50. And then 25, see, now I know I've made a mistake. So let's plug this back in. So this is positive 15 and negative 25. That's negative 40. So I think this is going to be negative 5. So now I'll try it again. 15 plus negative 35 is negative 20. Well, again, I need to write it out because I made the mistake twice. That's definitely 5y. That's 8x. 5y, 8x. So that's going to be negative 40. And then, so I can't divide. Negative 8. So 5y equals 8x. That's negative 40. Negative 8. And you can do it on paper. It'll be easier. You can write it out. Beatrice graphed the relationship between the time in seconds since she sent a print job to the printer and the number of pages printed. What does the x-intercept represent in this context? So this is seconds since the print job. Okay, so the x-intercept right here, 5 seconds. Beatrice graphed the relationship with the time since she sent a print job to the printer. Now notice, when she sent it, it didn't start printing immediately. There was a gap. So what's happening? The number of seconds that passed before the printer started, the number of pages already printed when she sent the job, no, that would have been the y. Pages is here. This is time. Number of pages printed per second, no, that's the slope. Okay, it's the number of seconds that passed before it started printing. It took time to begin. All right, x-intercept, y-intercept. X-intercepts always have a y value of 0. Y-intercepts always have an x value of 0. And they're clearly graphically right here. So this is when y is 0. So that's clearly, looks like negative 7.5. Right there. Okay, this is 5, this is 6. This looks like 5.5. So my x-intercept is here, my y-intercept is here. What is the slope? Well, slope, you need points. Or you can just, nice points particularly help. Here's the point 0, negative 3. Here's a nice point at 2, 1. I went 1, 2 units over, 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. Slope is change in y over change in x. So it's 4 over 2, which is 2. Carl set out to to Alaska on his truck. The amount of fuel remaining in the truck's tank in liters as a function of distance driven in kilometers is graphed. Okay, so he started out with 500 liters of gasoline, and then it went down till he ran out of gasoline. What distance did Carl travel by the time he had 200 liters of fuel left? Okay, so 200 liters of fuel is right here. If you go over, he had traveled 500 kilometers. Graph y equals 0. Well, y equals 0 means all y values are 0. So that point right there is the point -3, 0. That point right there is the point 6, 0. That point right there is the point 2, 0. So any point on here that has y being 0, that's the point 0, 0. That's the point -6, 0. What is the slope? Slope is change in y. So this is my top number. So I'm going from 36 to 29 to 22. So that number is clearly down 7. That's my change in y. And then my change in x is I'm changing by 1. Now, obviously, we're not going to write that as a fraction. We're just going to write that as -7. But if it wouldn't divide evenly, you'd just leave it as a fraction. The table given a few xy pairs on the line of the chord. What's the x-intercept? Now, x-intercept has a y value of 0. So this we need to get to 0. Well, we went up. What is that? We went up 16, then we went up another 16. So we're going to have to go up 16 twice more. So 2 more steps. This, we went up 6, we went up 6. We're going to go 6, 2 more. Now, x-intercept, I know I'm going to have a y value of 0. So that takes 2 more steps of 16. So this is going to take 2 more steps of 6. So that's going to get me to -3, and then another 6 is going to get me to +3. Determine the intercepts. Again, y-intercept has an x value of 0, x-intercept has a y value of 0. This is slope-intercept form, so this one's super easy because this is 0. It basically just goes away, and you're left with y equals -18. This one's a little harder. This side is 0, so then you're solving for x, so you're going to add 18 to both sides, and you're going to divide by 8. So you have 18 divided by 8. Which reduces to 9/4. 18 over 8 reduces to 9/4. Which ordered pair is a solution? So they're just going to check them. You plug in 10, 1. 10 plus 7 times 1 is 7. 10 plus 1 is 17. That one works. So that definitely is a solution. -4, 3. So -4, 7 times 3 is 21. -4 plus 21 is 17. That also works. So it's both of them. And sometimes it's neither. I saw it where it was neither sometimes. Slope again. Change in y. From -2 to 7 is a change of 9. That's the top number. Bottom number from -7 to -6 is a change of 1. So it's 9 over 1. That's 9. All right, so we want to know what their initial fee was. Price per dollars, we want to know what their initial fee was. Well, that would be when the distance I had traveled was 0. So I want to know how much the cost was before I traveled any distance. Well, notice this change was 35. So I believe, and you can double check, show calculator, I believe that 35 times 3 is 105, sure enough. So I need this to go down 3 more times. So 3 more reductions here. Here, I went down, you can see I went down 21, then I went down 21. So I need to subtract 21 3 more times. So 21 times 3 is 63. So I'm going to take 183 minus 63, and I'm going to get 120. So when my distance was 0, because I'm changing by 35, and 135, I do it once, that gets me to 70, then 70 gets down to 35, and then 35 down to 0. So that's 3 steps, gets me to no distance. This, I'm going to go a minus 21, which is 162, minus another 21, which is 141, minus another 21, which is 120. Graph the line. Okay, so the first thing is it goes through the point 6, -5, right there. Now, the hard part about this is it has a negative slope and it wants to plot a point 3 units to the right of that. Well, I can't, it's not on the picture. So they're making me actually have to do this backwards. So instead of going 2 down, 3 right, I'm going to go 3 left and 2 up. So now these points, notice this is 2 down, that's my top, -2, and then 1, 2, 3 left. Or you can think of it as going 3 left and 2 up, but there's my slope, there's my line, goes through the point 6, -5, and then it also goes through the point 3, -3. All right, Archimedes drained the water in his tub. Well, that's a relation to a very famous story about Archimedes and yelling Eureka. 62.5 liters of water were drained every minute, and the tub was completely drained after 8 minutes. So right there, we know after 8 minutes it was empty. Now, we know it's draining 62.5 liters each minute. Now, these are not easy to do, 62.5. So I'm actually going to double that so I can get rid of that decimal. So if I double that, what is that? 125. So 2 minutes before, it would have still had 125. So that's halfway in between 150 and 100 is 125. Would have still had 125 liters of water in it. Now, if you weren't sure that was right, you could think, okay, well, if I'm doing 625 and I drained it for 8 minutes, if I take 625 times 8, so again, they don't give us a calculator here, but you can probably get close to doing this in your head. If you take 625 times 8, well, 8 times 5 is 40, carry a 4, that's 16. So now I'm going to carry a 2, and 8 times 6 is 48, so that's going to give me 500. See, I started out at 500 liters. So you could have done the intercepts if you wanted. You could have written the table. You could have done intercepts. You could have done it a couple of different ways. All right. As you can see, I was able to get through literally without paper. But you could have written some things off to the side. And if you have any questions about this, please ask. I can go into more detail. I can get my little pen thingy out and write it out if me just verbally talking about it didn't help. So just let me know if you need something. And otherwise, have a great weekend.